Alright guys, you have made it to the last and final video in the Boo to You class. Well done. This werewolf card is our last one. Trick or treat on the outside, eat, drink, and be scary on the inside. Let me show you a couple of things here. You are going to need your Boo to You stamp set, your assorted googly eyes, and your kit if you've got those. I pulled a greeting, this trick or treat from Itty Bitty Greetings. You can substitute any little greeting you have there. I've got also the greeting, the inside greeting. I chose Eat, Drink, and Be Scary, and that's from Spooktacular Bash. So any greetings you have that you can use to mix it up a little bit. Just a little creepy and Boo to You are fun, but we definitely needed to mix up a few other things, so feel free to raid your stash and find the things that work for you. Alright, let's take a look at the kit here. You've got your Stampin' Up! Whisper White envelope, and the card is basic black. It's 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. All the measurements are on the printable project sheet. All right, you're also gonna find a 4 by 5 1/4 Whisper White. That's for inside your card. Got about 8 or 10 inches of the braided linen trim. We've already gone ahead and cut this mesh piece for you. This is from Crumb Cake, and we used the Under the Sea framelits dies to cut that net. We've got a couple of pieces of Whisper White here. One is a square that you can use to stamp your werewolf. The other is a little classic label, and we punched that out for you with the classic label punch. We've cut the largest stitched shape stitched circle using those dies, and then embossed it for you with the Woodland embossing folder. Our designer series paper here, we're going to use this Vampire Diaries print. The Haunted House pattern is 3 by 4, and the Vampire Diaries newspaper, that one's 2 by 4. And don't lose all your little crushed curry bits here. We've got the moon and the stars all punched out for you. We did that ahead of time using the Twinkle Builder punch. All right, let's take a look at ink for this project. Memento Tuxedo Black. And then our Stampin' Blends for this one, for our werewolf, are Crumb Cake, Smoky Slate, Soft Suede, and Calypso Coral. Let's stamp, shall we? Put my stars so I don't lose them. All right, let's take Trick or Treat, and we're gonna stamp that on this little classic label, right of center. We want room for the bow and the little star. Then Eat, Drink, and Be Scary. We're gonna put that inside. Switch any little bit longer Halloween greeting that you like for the inside of your card from any stamp set that you have, or buzz over to marissaelvarez.stampinup.net if you want to order the Spooktacular Bash stamp set. All right, then our werewolf. Love this dude. We're gonna ink him up real good. Stamp him in this square, and let's get him colored in. Alright, so let's start with our light Crumb Cake. We're going to color in his face. Avoid the eyes and the teeth, and we're just doing his face here. We're not doing his nose or his chin, his ears, or anything else, just the face with that crumb cake. Now we're going to outline just a bit with the dark crumb cake here. Just put a little bit of shadow in, and then color right over top of that crumb cake, and keeping the ink really wet. And then after you've colored over the top, then you'll use little circular strokes to bring the dark shade into the light shade. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing kind of on his nose here. Go down one side of it and then bring the dark and the light shade together. Now for the rest of his fur, we're going with soft suede. So we got the light soft suede, and we're going to just run little circles all around and fill in the rest of his fur. His face, his chest, arms, legs, ears, everything's going to get the soft suede, the light one. But what we're gonna do is work in segments so that our ink stays wet. So we've done his face and ears. Now let's add some little fringe and a shadow on the ears. And we're gonna follow the artist's lead here. We're gonna use the dark soft suede in a flicking type motion. We're gonna make some fringe here on our werewolf. Then we'll take the light suede again, and using that same kind of flicking motion, we'll bring the light and the dark suede together, but not in such an even manner. Blending in little circular strokes gives us a nice even blend. This flicking that we're doing is going to give us a shaggy, furry looking blend. Got the little chest hairs there. So funny. And then arms. We have a little cast shadow from his head, and then we're going to use the little lines the artist drew in to make those arms look shaggy. Bring it together with the light shade. Same with his other arm and his feet. I'm going to do the top of his feet with light suede, and the bottom of his feet kind of shaggy, I think. Or no, maybe it should be shaggy on the top of his feet. Let's follow the artist's lines. Put some tufts of shaggy fur on top of the foot, and bring it all together with the light suede. Alright, so there's our werewolf's fur and face. Gonna take our dark smoky slate and color his nose. Gonna take our light smoky slate and we'll color his pants. He's a well-dressed werewolf with a pair of gray slacks. We'll cast a shadow under the jacket, kind of down the leg there. Keeping these kind of a lighter gray color. I love it. And I'm going to go back to his nose one more time and add a little bit extra dark gray for that nose. His jacket. We're going to do the inside of the collar with light calypso coral and a shirt poking out underneath the pocket. Then we're going to color the whole jacket light calypso coral using circular strokes and filling the whole thing in. But we're going to avoid those first little areas we colored when we bring the dark calypso coral. We're going to outline nearly the whole jacket here. We're going to go back with the light right over top of the dark. We're really trying to keep this dark calypso coral wet. We want it to melt into the light calypso coral. I always find that this shade, the calypso coral, the dark and the light shade, are further apart, I feel, than some of the other Stampin' Up! Light and dark shades. So we got to really work on keeping the ink nice and wet. It'll blend much better. Now keep going over these light ones until you bring it all to kind of a shade of medium, because the collar and the shirt peeking out from under the jacket, those are going to be that kind of light color coral. If you're having trouble getting your coral to blend, you can pick up a little bit of the dark coral on your light coral and use that to scribble the two shades together. It'll make the light just a little bit darker. Be sure that you start that after you've touched the dark tip with the light tip. Be sure you start that in a shadowy area because you're going to have a little bit darker, and then it'll clean the tip as you scribble and get lighter as you go. Alright, so there's our werewolf. Now we're going to fussy cut him out just like we did our zombie. We're going to cut him out with scissors and then run around the edge of him with a Stampin' Write marker. So when I fussy cut these guys, because they're going to go on the dark background, I'm going to cut right up on the line and just moving the paper into the scissor. See? The scissor doesn't hack all the way around the werewolf. The werewolf moves into the scissor. Alright, I'm going to cut this out and trim up the edge of the white cardstock with a black Stampin' Write. We'll be right back to put this card together. Okay, our werewolf is all fussy cut, and now we're just going to take the brush end of our Stampin' Write basic black, and we're going to just rub the edge of the cutout so we don't see any white cardstock. And you just go with a gentle hand all the way around. Let's get this card put together. Frightful and delightful, wouldn't you say? Alright, pieces. We're gonna grab some snail and let's get the inside of this card lined. Eat, drink, and be scary. I love that. The font is so cool. Now on the outside of the card, let's add some designer series paper. Of course, you can use whichever side of the paper you like too. Don't be afraid to mix it up. Sometimes after I put the adhesive on, I say, oh, maybe I should have done that a little different this time. I'm gonna add our Vampire Diaries paper at a little bit of an angle. And then our Haunted House paper at a little bit of an angle. Next up, we've got our wood embossed, our woodland embossed circle. Let's cover that with some snail. And then we need our little net, our little mesh piece here. We're going to add this mesh piece so that it comes out from behind. And then we're going to tear a piece off. Okay. And then we're going to add the piece of it so that it peeks out the top too. So we just extend it by tearing it and spreading it apart. Then we can go ahead and glue this woodland piece down with all that snail that we had on the back. I want to put my werewolf on with some dimensionals. So we're going to take our time here. We're going to add a few minis, kind of strategically placed here across the back. But then we're also going to take our paper snips and we're going to cut some small pieces from the edges here that we could put on the legs and feet and arms and ears and support those little spaces. Now for the feet, we want them to tuck over the trick-or-treat greeting just a little bit, so make sure that you choose very slim little pieces of dimensional adhesive at the tops of the feet so that they're supported, but we can pop it right up against that trick-or-treat label. And I want some very small little pieces on the ears. And Trick or Treat needs a couple of pieces of dimensional here. We're going to go across the back with a, I don't know, 3 minis should do to support the banner. All right, trick or treat goes across the bottom, kind of makes the ground. You're just gonna see the stitches just budge out underneath there. And then our werewolf, his feet are gonna just stand right on that trick or treat. Now, little bow from our braided linen. We're gonna secure that on the tag with a mini glue dot behind the knot. And then we'll cut down the tails here. I need a nice sharp pair of ribbon snips. Now some multi-purpose liquid glue. Let's get this crescent moon up in the sky. And from the moon, you can grab some multi-purpose liquid glue for the star. Glue that right on the ribbon. And the moon up in the air. Then what I'm going to do is from this star right here, making a triangle, I'm going to add 2 little dots of glue. Then I'm going to take your pick tool and grab kind of a medium star and drop it right in that dab of glue. Take a little star, drop that right in the dab of glue. And up here we're going to add 2 more stars. So add 2 more dabs of glue. Take a teeny little star, drop it in. And kind of a medium star, drop it in. Okay, one more last little step. Are you ready for this? We need our mini glue dots and our assorted googly eyes. I love these yellow ones. We're gonna go ahead and in our werewolf, we're gonna put 2 of these little yellow googly eyes. I'm chasing them around now. It's the perfect finishing touch. There it is. If you've got any questions about the cards, projects in the Boo to You class for September, email marissa@kitchentablestamper.com. If there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, please reach out. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the online classroom in October when we play with the fun new Harvest Hellos bundle. All right, you guys, thanks for being a part of the online classroom. I'll see you in October.